Hi, I'm Panda Hershey, and I coach entrepreneurs on how to use astrology as a decision making tool so they can recognize the right path forward for them and build lives and businesses that actually fit. Welcome to the May 7th Coffee and Cosmos call, where we talk about how the intensity of the new paradigm is easing and your confidence in what you bring to the table is solidifying, so you can show the world just how much you've changed over the last year. We had a lot of great questions and coaching at the end of the call, so feel free to skip ahead to that section, and I'll see you on the other side. Yeah, really, really busy. And kind of the same thing happened today where I just thought, oh my gosh, I feel like I was just going on my walk and didn't I just see the garbage people 2 days ago? But I guess it's been a week. So, all right. Well, welcome everyone. Oh my gosh, it's a I feel like it's getting to be a great time. And I can't wait for the pressure to ease. But I hope all of you are feeling that right now, that somehow there's just a little less pressure and it's going to get lighter and lighter. It's going to take some time to really feel it. Give it at least to the end of this week. And then you may notice a real difference in how it feels. Like it just feels lighter. So, um, thankfully, we only have 2 weeks to cover this week instead of 3 weeks because the last 3 weeks were really crazy. Okay, I'm sharing my slides. So welcome to Coffee and Cosmos. I've renamed it. We're going to see how it goes. If it feels good. And yeah. Okay, here we go. So where are we right now? Today is May 7th, if you can believe it. And Pluto just stationed retrograde. So it really isn't moving very far. It's right now at 4 degrees. So this whole space of Aquarius is 4 degrees, and it's just going to move back to 1.5 until October. So it's a very slow move, but that is what is happening. And that is the pressure that is releasing over the next 5 months. And again, just give it a few days because it takes some time for us to feel it. Just like when you shift it in reverse for a moment, you're absolutely stationary, right? So, same kind of thing. The other thing that's going on is right across from it, here is Mars. And Mars, remember, is about putting your heart into something. And right now, it is having that Leo style of putting your heart into what you know you bring to the table. You have gifts, you want to offer them, and dang it, it'd be so nice if someone actually appreciated it. So that is that energy. And it is, as it moves further through Leo, it's going to feel stronger and stronger and more important. So, um, maybe I'll just mention it right now, that there's some components to that. One is, how are you offering your talents? Are you hitting people over the head right now? Are you letting it be a slow build? Or do you have the right audience, right? Are you in the right room offering your talents to the people who actually want them, need them? That's something that's always maybe getting reevaluated. And a little bit about, this energy of building this up is going to go into June. So you don't want to show them everything right now. Actually, is that right? May 20th. It might be July. I think it's July, actually. So it's a slow build. You don't have to give them everything at once. Just let them have a little taste and let them get used to what you really have to offer. Yes, so the other thing, and I'll be pointing this out later, is that Mercury, yes, the Mercury portal in the summer is happening in this little area of Leo from 5 to 15 degrees, and Mars is right at the beginning of it. So from April 27th until May 21st, Mars is in that place where Mercury will be this summer. So it is like you are kicking down the doors and saying, I'm coming and I'm here, and you'll get to think about it later. So if you're thinking about setting up plans for something that you know you're going to be calmer and like ready to offer it, and you're just trying things out to see what happens because you know you can do it, this is the time. And then in July and August, you'll work it out. The other thing that's happened is that the Jupiter portal just completed on April 30th, and Jupiter from last July until April 30th was moving back and forth in this area of Gemini where you were expanding your awareness. You were thinking bigger. And now, if you look back, you think bigger than you did um, back last summer. And finally, the Mercury portal completed. It's already here in at 25 degrees of Aquarius of Aries, but it completed, I guess, a little over a week ago. So that's where everything is. Any questions on that? Does that make sense? Kind of where everyone's at right now. Hopefully you're all feeling the confidence in yourself and letting it build. Tomorrow, Mercury has been in these late degrees of the Chiron portal. And tomorrow it leaves this year's Chiron portal. So Chiron is that energy of going into something with an expectation and it doesn't turn out the way you thought. And that can be both positive and negative. And maybe for the last week or so, it has been, oh, wow, maybe people are finally coming around to what I've been saying. And I'm trying to take it a little deeper. And it's, this is the part I'm going to have to work on over the next year, that they're not quite ready for this. And I thought they would be, but it's going to take them some time. And right now, maybe you're just feeling that, oh my gosh, I need to think about how this message is going to come together, what I need to say, who I need to say it to. Maybe it's a whole new tribe than I thought it was from last year. And that is that energy of wrapping that up. Now, keep in mind, Venus still has to go through here. And so the right people will start receiving that. On the 13th, so almost a week from today, the sun is going to be at the later stages of Taurus. So just showing up. And it is going to enter last year's Uranus portal, which is still wrapping up right now at 23 degrees of Taurus. So think about how you used to show up, what your presence was like a year ago, and how it has changed. When the sun finally moves through this, about starting from a week from now for a few days, you will actually get to demonstrate that you are a new person. And that starts on the 13th. It'll be confirmation that all the work you've done is paying off. On May 14th, Venus will leave that Mercury portal that just happened from March 1st to April 26th. So that message that you've been trying to get out to people over the last couple of months, people are finally starting to accept it. You may notice it now, but it really wraps up in the next week. And just let that, like, it's taken them a while, right? My God, why did it taken so long? But this is the opportunity to believe in yourself, right? This Mars fire of, I know I have something to offer. Let that fuel you to take a few risks. You don't have to hit them over the head with everything, but people are starting to get it, and let them. And then on the 15th, the Venus portal finishes up at 10 degrees of Aries. And if you think back to late January and all the work you've done to find the right people around you, and figure out who is listening to you, who you feel safe with, to have ideas. When you get an idea, you can put it out to them and they'll give you some good feedback. This is done. So it's been a long journey, and Venus is the last planet to go through this little area of the sky that has been such a focus since late January. So that will be complete. On the 16th, last year's Uranus portal finishes up. And so the restructuring of your presence that you've been working on for the last year is done, and it'll start up again in a few days. And the next day after that, the sun finishes moving through that area of the sky. And so from the 14th to the 17th, it's those, basically 4 days of like showing that you are a new person with confidence. You know it. Mars is giving that confidence to show up. And not only on that day, it puts a exclamation point on it because the sun moves over Uranus. So it's like, yep, closing the door on that. I am no longer that old person you used to know. I am here as a new person. And it starts entering this year's Uranus portal to say, and I'm not done yet. The other thing, Saturn will be moving into that Neptune um, portal, this year's Neptune portal, to help you focus in on who the right people are. It will start to narrow down. So if you've been trying to eliminate people out of your life who don't feel like they're in sync, like this, you may feel like you're finally ready to do it. And so give it a little time, like through the end of the month. But just know that if there's some hangers on that are like dragging you down, dragging your energy down, and you feel like, why haven't I been able to step away yet? This may be the time where you feel ready. On the 20th, the Uranus portal opens for this new year at 27.5 degrees. So Uranus will move all the way into Gemini. And so for the last, like since 2018, I think it is, we've been changing how we show up through the movement of Uranus through Taurus. But as it moves into Gemini, you're shaking up the way you think. And on this exact day that the portal opens, look, the sun has moved into Gemini. And so already there will be this signal of something that you get to do as the sun is still moving through this year's portal of, oh my gosh, maybe I think differently. Maybe I can actually do something, say something that shows I might be looking at situations a whole new way. And that is coming soon. And don't forget, this Mars energy of I bring something to the table is still going on. And then finally, on the 21st, when we meet again, Mars will leave this summer's Mercury portal, and you'll have like done all this work. You've shown up, showing who you're going to be, and you're done. Like kicking down the door for your summer plans. Okay, I'm going to go back now that I figured out how to do this faster. And I'm going to tick through it one more time. Um, what to notice? Mercury here is the green, and the sun. Notice the gap, but Mercury is speeding up now. Your mind is catching up to what you're doing, and you'll see it, that gap narrow and get closer and closer. It won't catch up quite yet, but it's getting there. All right, here we go. Okay. Can you see it? Like the gap narrowed a little bit. So your confidence, hopefully you all are feeling it. I hope so. It's building, it's solidifying. As it Mars moves into like the middle degrees of Leo, it will be about, yeah, I can do this. It's not just a hope and a prayer. It is, yeah, I can show up and do this. And not only that, with Venus and Aries, the right people are finally hearing you, and you've got your tribe. And as that intensity of the new paradigm starts to ease because Pluto is moving backward, there is this space for you to work on yourself. And that's what we get to do all summer. And part of that is having this opportunity to show up in a way that proves you are different. And not only that, you're going to show you're ready for more. And that you're on your way to showing how you think differently. So around May 20th, 21st, start noticing like if words start coming out of your mouth, thoughts start coming to your head that, oh my God, I never would have thought that before, you're right on track. So just to recap, April 27th and to the basically to when we meet again, May 21st, Mars here is moving through where Mercury will be this summer here in Leo. So you have something to prove. You know it. Don't hold back because you'll get to work it out this summer. Okay. It's not going to all go perfectly. That's okay. Just take a risk and go for it. And even tell people, I'm just trying this and I'll get this figured out later. And that's totally fine. Right now, Mercury over here is moving through the Chiron portal for this year. So if you think back to April 8th to the 16th, if you did something to try to get people's attention or something happened to you, you got something that came to your attention, how are you getting to talk about it, review it, discuss it, and maybe things aren't turning out exactly the way they were laid out back in April because that Pluto retrograde is giving it a little space to maybe let someone walk it back a little bit. And that someone could be you. From the 13th to the 17th, here's the sun moving through last year's Uranus portal. And on the 17th, just after it finishes, it will cross over Uranus just to put a stamp on, yep, that's the old me. And I'm proving that I am not that old person anymore. And so just do the thing, whatever it is, do the thing that shows you're different. On the 15th, that Venus portal completes. So all from January 28th back here, it has moved back and forth around Pisces to Aries, helping you find your tribe, helping you find the people who appreciate what you're bringing to their attention, back and forth. And now it's all done. All of that work, wow, right? What an interesting spring to figure out what that all meant and who the people you need in this new energy. That's work is all done. And so what important topic do you finally appreciate? What's taken you a while to come around to that someone has brought to your attention? On the 16th, last year's Uranus portal completes. And so here's Uranus at the very end of this little red arc. And so you've done a year of work to change how you show up. Then the next day, the 17th to the 22nd, the sun will move through this year's Uranus portal to show that you're not done yet. And what actions are you taking that hint that you will be thinking differently over this next year? So if it feels uncomfortable, you're probably doing it right. And then on the 20th, the Uranus portal opens and that new restructuring begins. So you get like a 4-day break, and then the work begins to change how you show up. And again, just a reminder, on the 21st, Mars here will finish moving through that space where Mercury will be this summer. Okay. Tips for thriving. Over the next 2 weeks, that determination to show that you bring something to the uh, to the table uh, sets the stage for you to actually work on, and with a little calmer head, with a little more purpose and intention, what you bring to the table this summer. If you have a wild idea and you're excited about something, you think you can do it, you go for it now and then you work it out later. I mean, we do this in our lives, right? That it's okay to not know how it turns out and you just go for it. The right people are finally hearing what you have to say. That's that Venus in Aries energy, people getting it finally, they're catching up to you. So you get to keep going with the rest of the story. Take your time, like don't overload them with everything all at once, but it's a slow build to let them know this is why you need that. And then the next dot to connect is this, and then the next one, and let that keep going. And finally, big thing is just validating that you are a new person and living it. And also testing the waters about how you're going to change even more this year. So, if this has been a wild ride and everything that we've talked about is for everybody, and if you are feeling uncertain about your path and you need a clear, personalized roadmap for you for the months ahead, just let's chat. You can DM me, Compass, on the Zoom chat. Just um, you in the chat, you just select me only and let me know. And DM me. Oh, actually, I'll need your phone number, and we'll reach out and we'll chat. Or you can reach me on Instagram. All right, you guys. Questions, coaching, how yeah, it's uncertain, right? Because Mars is way out there in front, kicking down doors, and it's like you can't stop it from like getting out there and doing things that the more cautious part of you would never do. But thank God it does that sometimes, because sometimes we need that kick to just go for it. Okay. Anybody?
I have a question. Hi, Panda.
Hey, Kim.
So I'm going to try not to cry. Lana passed the other day, and
So,
I'd like to, this portal was, I mean, if someone was going to go, this was her time, and it was beautiful. And, but I didn't get, so I stopped my website that I was building on one platform because it wasn't going. And in fact, today I just said, I'm going to stand in my power and ask for my money back, the whole thing, and rebuild on Kajabi. But nothing else has happened like what you're saying. I feel, I don't know. How do I haven't gotten my message out to anybody. Um, I'm sort of, I'm in the right exact time I need to be, and I'm sure, but I feel like I've had all the bad things, not bad, but the heaviness, the density, and now it's on the other side.
mm-hmm.
A lot of grief to process and put that into my work eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So how are some of these energies like pertinent to this situation?
Yeah. So with Pluto going retrograde, it's heavy, and also I hope you can sense that it's going to lighten. Like it's as heavy as it can be right now.
Yeah,
Right.
it sure is.
And it's going to ease in. And that makes hopefully some logical sense that as you process that grief that never goes away, that it will shift and change and won't feel as heavy. It'll feel heavy in a different way. 2 weeks from now. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, I'm one, thank you. And I mean, I'm thinking, should I just hold off on trying to launch? We were supposed to launch. I mean, I certainly not in the moment right now want to do anything, but I was
Mhm,
going to launch in April and all the pressure just felt like too much for
mhm,
me and my dog.
mhm.
But like when do you think would be a good time to maybe June, July at this point? What are the energies?
I think, one of the things is you're standing in your power. That is
Mhm.
Mars and
Yeah.
Leo saying, look, this is what I need to do. I think what's possible is you could do a beta and just say, I um I'm gonna wing it with people who trust me and know me, but I want to nail down exactly what the content's gonna be. I'm gonna get the questions I need from people. I'm gonna, you know, if you know me well enough that you've been with me on this journey and you know I have something to offer, and I know I do, and I can help people, then go for it without all of the accoutrements that a Kajabi portal brings. If you have videos, you can put them up on YouTube in a private thing. If you have meetings, you just have Zoom calls, record them. The content, the transformation can still happen without a Kajabi portal, without a website, without those things. And you are upfront, you charge less for a beta anyway, and you just say, you know what? You're getting in at a price that no one will ever have again. And you know the value is going to be there if you know me at all. And
Right. And I did this last year because the tech was kind of a disaster for almost
mm-hmm,
3 years now.
yeah,
I had promised them we're getting our tech together, be ready by March. We were supposed to launch in March.
mm-hmm,
Um, so if I come back now and say, we still don't have it together, but the content, the meet and I've gone through this, with them repeatedly. They're like, well, when, they want a platform, they want a place to meet and gather, you know.
Facebook
So
group, like, yeah, you don't need anything paid to do this, Kim.
mm,
Come on, all my other entrepreneurs. I know you.
yeah,
Jen's
right.
nodding there. All it takes is that belief in yourself. That's going to build. That is the energy that is like, this feels so uncertain. And dang it, I'm just going to do it anyway. And that is the leap of faith in yourself.
Yeah, when I looked back in Kajabi, all my assets were there from last August when I canceled it, which it's not supposed to be. So maybe I just have that as my basic and don't worry about
Yeah,
making it fancy right now. I just wanted to
there you
make
go.
it like a thing
There you
where it
go.
attracts students and a funnel and all that, but I don't won't have that. It'll just be like, there's the replays,
Yep.
there's your PDFs, and just keep it simple.
Yep. There you go. Okay.
Sounds great. Thanks,
All
Panda.
right. You bet. You bet. Anyone else?
I have a question.
Yes, Jen.
I have two questions. One is just about the actual astrology, which is you said the Uranus portal,
Mhm.
Uranus, however you pronounce it, has you showing up as a new person and you've restructured how you're different. And then you said it starts again, like next year's portal. So
Yeah.
you'll be thinking differently and restructuring your presence again. Does
Mhm.
that happen every year? Like, is there always that
Yeah.
portal? So it's always about restructuring yourself? Is that what that's always about? Or is that because it's in a certain
In a
uh,
certain sign, it
sign?
takes, yeah. So it takes 84 years for Uranus, it is this little blip here, to move all the way around the circle.
Okay.
So it's since 2018 that Uranus began in Taurus. So if you think back to how you showed up in 2018, I I think I was really just beginning my entrepreneur journey back then. I know 100% show up differently, and I'm still not done yet. Um, uh, uh, as an entrepreneur compared to then.
So is
And
that about Taurus then?
yeah, it's how I show up. my
So what,
physical presence.
so what would happen when it gets to what's after Taurus? Gemini.
Restructuring your awareness, the way you think. You
Oh,
will think differently.
so
And
it's been about structuring your presence, and now it's becoming restructuring how you think.
yes, the idea is sometimes I compare this Taurus to Gemini energy as when you have a kid with a toy, the first thing they do is they're like all touching it and all over it and feeling it and looking at it and playing with it. And then they start to notice things. Or here's a good one.
That's a good metaphor, actually.
I have a good book, Good Night Gorilla for kids. I have looked through that book so many times, like touched the book, read the book, used it, pointing out things. And every time I would look at that book, I would see something different. That is like, that's it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that helps.
Okay.
Okay, next question. If it's okay that I ask
Of
another.
course.
I'm not even sure what to ask. I'm just at this point. So I'm at a point in my business where um I'm starting to get some traction. And at the same time, I'm pivoting my business.
Hmm.
I can't remember if I told you I'm joining businesses with Sherry.
Sorry.
And kind of what I'm doing with Sherry is like an up level of what I'm doing now. Um, and I'm wondering if you can offer any guidance on how to make this transition. So I can't figure out whether I should keep promoting my current thing or just make a switch. And like part of me, which is probably this Mars energy you're talking about, is just like, you know what, we should just start this new business and just go for it. But then there's another part of me going, like, I'm finding it very hard to manage both because I don't know, like I want to message on the old stuff, but then I want to message on the new stuff. So is there anything in the charts that would help guide that decision? Like, I don't know what my question is.
Yeah.
It's like, what do
Um,
how do I do this? How do I make this transition?
so I'm going to bring up any old chart here. Um, actually, I'm going to go back to just. So the juggling, starting the new work with Sherry, is that like, do you have a solid like launch plan and something that you're ready to put out there right now together that you both feel awesome about? Or is it more like not quite sure yet?
We both feel awesome about it, but it is not that solid yet. Like we're working on our offer.
Hmm.
So we've kind of got our niche sort of nailed, and we're working on like what is it that what is the transformation we can offer them?
Hmm.
And what is our triangle, like to use old
Yeah.
terms in our old coaching thing, like we're working on a triangle offer.
So the earliest launch would be summer,
Oh yeah.
fall.
Summer may, yeah, you're right. Actually, realistically, might be fall, maybe late
Okay.
summer.
So here's a thought. What if you just keep cultivating the work that you're doing solo and realize that things are moving very fast? This is a busy time because every single one of these planets is moving forward. This is a time you are going to be exhausted.
It
Um,
feels very busy right now. May feels
so,
busy.
yeah, exactly. And so bringing keeping your current business going because you know you're good at this now. Like you found your sweet spot. People
Yeah.
are getting it and introducing them to Sherry so that the right ones could um could maybe join in or do that next level up, but they're getting to know Sherry, like invite her in to do something, or do something together as
Yeah.
part of anything. Because I'll tell you,
Okay.
the fall
Mhm.
Mercury portal is here, where you learn how to collaborate with someone. This is October into November and December. You collaborate with someone to find the path forward, to find the what do we share together? What do I learn from this person that I go off and share, but it could be shared together. And then it's this working it out. Kind of the same thing as the Pisces Aries, who's my tribe, who's listening to me, to how do I work with someone
Mhm.
and like find the path forward. So great time for collaborations. Or how do I not work with someone? Like decide
Yeah.
this isn't working.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that help?
It does.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. I'm just thinking about it. That is
Yeah. And
helpful. Thank
then
you.
you can test it. Like think about testing it when that the 17th to the 22nd, when you're doing things that show you're going deeper with the work, and you're going so deep that, oh my God, what if you all had this opportunity to learn from both of us?
Mm.
Let people think differently. Let yourself think differently.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
That is helpful. Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome. Anyone else? Mitch, Min, Joyce?
Mine would be like totally personal and kind of embarrassing. So, and not entrepreneurial at all.
Well, that part, the entrepreneurial part, doesn't matter because
Okay.
this is for every single person in the world.
Um, so I recently started couples counseling with my significant other of 8 years. We've only lived together for the last year and a half or so. In Monterey, I moved down from the East Bay to experiment with this, and I've concluded I want to go back to the East Bay and living by myself. So, unfortunately, and he's a wonderful, nice person. He really, he really wants to have a marriage-like relationship, and I have concluded that I do not. So that's sad. But anyway, so I told him I want to move back, and and I do not want to live with him anymore. So he's devastated. And he also just had knee replacement surgery. So I'm taking care of him. He's in a lot of pain and he hasn't been able to sleep 6 weeks. So I feel really bad that I am adding to his pain. Um, so anyway, as far as timing goes, I have determined that I can go back into this really lovely rental house that I had in Albany before I moved to Monterey, but it's not available until early August. And I think it's going to be very uncomfortable continuing to live together while we have this, unhappy situation going on. So, so I mean, I could find an interim place to live and move earlier, just so we don't have to live together in an uncomfortable situation for as long. And of course, that's a huge hassle. So I could just try to eke things out until August when I can easily move back into my old place, or I can do something in the meantime. So look.
Trying to think. What? Hmm.
Yeah, because
I
it
mean, it's
definitely does not sound like a fun summer where I'm thriving and having a great time.
right, right. I'm trying to think. So the being happy with yourself comes in August with the Mercury portal in Leo. And what is the energy of doing something along those lines that makes that feel like you're prepping for that right now? And a hassle, I gotta say, is Mars' specialty because Mars doesn't care. Mars is like, this is what has to happen. This is where my heart is. This is what I have to do because I believe in myself. And I have to feel good about myself. And I don't want to. Mars, Leo is very uncomfortable with embarrassment and uncomfortable situations. And I know because I have two kids with Leo things and Leo tools. And so thinking about that, um, being absolutely clear on what you feel proud of for yourself, like you'll be happy that you did that for yourself, then whether people receive it or not is up to them. And you always want to do things with kindness and an open heart and with consideration, and the first person to honor is yourself.
Well, I mean, I'm firm in the decision and I know it's the right thing for me. So it's interesting that you said early August is when what happens, because that's when I'm planning to move currently. And it's really just what do I do over the next several months? So
3 months, right?
Yeah.
You might be able to,
I might be able to eke it out.
you might be able to find something. Like give it until May, like give it until we meet again. Seriously. Like
Okay.
just see what becomes possible. Things will, sometimes things just have to, like little pieces have to come together for it to actually be available for you.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm totally confident in my ability to make whatever timing happen I want to make happen. I mean, I know I can do whichever way. So
Yeah, that's the Mars and Leo. I know I can do it.
thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Mitch or Min? Anyone?
So great hearing you really be so on point with things, Panda. Hats off to you. I'm loving just hearing the advice you're giving to everyone.
Good. Good. Okay. All right. Mitch, are you good? I'll take that as a yes. Oh, there he goes. All right. Well, you guys, good luck over the next 2 weeks. There is lots of great stuff coming. I really believe in it. And I hope you're feeling that confidence in yourself. Just keep going, keep going. And it's going to be a little uncertain, but it's okay. It's okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah. Okay. Take care. I hope you feel prepared to move easily through these next 2 weeks. Life is still going at a very fast pace, but you can think of it as momentum to meet the challenge of the new paradigm and set yourself up for a great summer. And if you'd like to join us on our next Coffee and Cosmos Live, just DM me coffee on Instagram at It's Panda Hershey, and I'll send you the link. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.